Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to drive traffic to your website and the way I drive traffic to my website. Okay, so if you're new around here, welcome. My name is Dahlia, also known as the Handmade Mastermind. I make videos and teach people on how to drive traffic to their website, how to grow and sustain an online business. And on here on YouTube, I make videos about online business tips, personal development, finance, money, all that good stuff to help business owners like myself. Okay, so if that sounds of interest to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you could receive notifications when I post more videos like this. Okay, so let's get started. So how do you drive traffic to your website? Well, there's two different ways. Okay, I want to make that very, very clear first before we get into all the different ways within that. The two different ways is one, people find you, or you find people. Okay, so the two different ways are, in other words, either you applying SEO, which is people finding you, and what that means is if you're applying SEO tactics, which means search engine optimization, when people search for a product like yours, that they're gonna find you, hopefully in search, whether it be on Google, Amazon, Etsy, wherever. Okay, so that's the first way, search. The next way I just mentioned, where you find people, is marketing. Okay, and there's many different elements to that, but it's really important to understand the difference between both of them, and that you should really have strategies for both. My first strategy is always applying SEO to any platform I sell on. That is a foundational thing I do, because then as I'm working on other things, business can roll in because people on their own are searching for a product like mine. Okay, so applying SEO is really important. If you're on Etsy, it has its own SEO method. If you're on Amazon, it has its own SEO method as well. If you have your own website or wherever else you sell, right, they also have their own SEO method. The way I apply it, well, it's what I do. I know SEO. So I teach courses, for example, on Etsy SEO, Amazon, and Google. I'll put the links down below if you're interested. But that is the first way to get traffic to your website. Implementing those tactics. So while you're chilling and doing other things for your business, people are slowly coming in. Okay, a lot of these strategies for SEO are snowballing strategies, especially Google SEO. It takes time to build. Okay, and Amazon and Etsy are not so slow. Usually they could happen fairly quickly for you. You could get traffic fairly quickly, but implementing them is super important. Okay, and again, I teach people how to do this. It's what I do. It's the main thing of the Handmade Mastermind. I teach people SEO, but applying it correctly is probably in your best interest. I want to give you some tips on SEO. Okay, now particularly for your website, because this is what this video is about. It's about driving traffic to your website. You want to use a tool such as Google Keyword Planner, or if you're having trouble using that because you have to either have an account, have an ad campaign with them, it's a mess, you could use another tool called SEObook.com. Sign up for a free account and go into the tool section, go to their keyword tool, and then you simply use that to figure out what keyword phrases are being searched for and how many. You could also use another tool called, I think it's called Keywords Everywhere. I'll put the link down below. It's a Chrome extension, which is amazing. Okay, and so as you're typing things into search and things auto-populate, you could see what the demand is for those types of phrases. Okay, after you do that and you kind of work your way into figuring out the best phrases for your product type, what people are searching for, you have to actually apply it correctly. Okay, and the way to apply it to your website, honestly, is fairly simple. Well, a lot more to it, but the things are fairly simple where you apply it to your title of your product. Okay, the title of your product is really important. Obviously it has to be relevant to your product, and it really does tell Google that you're highly relevant if your title of your product is exactly what that person is searching for. To piggyback on that, your URL, when you go to www.blahblah.com/ whatever that keyword is, if your keyword phrase is in your URL, it also makes you very, very highly relevant. Okay, a few other places you want to put your keyword is in your alt text for your image, amongst other things. In your alt text, you want to put it in your content, which is your description. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to go in the meta description that is meant for user experience, not at this moment meant for making you more relevant on Google. And there's a few other things you should be doing to get you more relevant on Google. Okay, again, I have a full training on that for my Google SEO webinar. I'll put the link down below. But that should get you started. Understand you have to apply it to everything within your listing is a smart way to go. Don't be spammy though. Don't be spammy where like, okay, let me take this phrase and apply it to everything in the exact same way. Google can catch on. They're not dumb, okay? They'll catch on to you being spammy and they'll probably not list your site at all, okay? Now, putting that aside, the second way, like I said, is marketing. But within marketing, there's many different ways you could do it, okay? I'm gonna go over several different things you could do. Now, you can't do all of them because we're not magicians and we don't have all the time in the world. So I'd recommend picking the ones that fit your market best. I recommend picking the ones that, you know, you have skill in or that you could learn, not fairly quickly, but that you could learn to do. So the different ways, I have some notes here, okay? So don't mind if I read into them. The different ways that you could drive traffic through marketing. First way is email list. I personally use this myself. I have had an email list since the beginning of time. Beginning of time meaning beginning when I first started my business or shortly after that. The reason why I started the email list is because I was told it was the right thing to do. I usually don't, you know, go follow business strategies just because somebody told me to do it. But when I first started out, I didn't know anything, right? And I heard it was a big thing. Like, you know, I always heard these big business gurus saying like, email list, do you own it, whatever. And I said, okay, I'll start it. It doesn't cost me much to start. You can start on MailChimp, it's for free. You can start building your list, it's for free, okay? So I recommend you do that. I'll put a link down below to other helpful email lists, marketing type of videos or blog posts that will help you. But starting one won't, you know, cost you pretty much anything, and it won't take too much of your time as long as you set it up properly first. Continue building your list. So what I did was I was building my list, and I'll be the first to admit I did not send anything to my list when I first built it, okay? So sure, there's some people that probably forgot about me when I did eventually email them, but I mean, if they were in my target market, hopefully it wasn't too much of a problem. And I started it, and I, you know, worked on some tactics, and I changed things, and I tested things, and I mean, this is years of experience, and I reached a point where anytime I send an email, I make money. I make thousands of dollars, you know, and usually it's for like a reason. So if I send an email out for back to school or a summer sale or Mother's, you know, Day gifts or Father's Day gifts or whatever, you know, just think about it, you know, there's different reasons why you send emails to your target market. But it's one of the, well, I would say Google and email list is one of the biggest ways I drive traffic to my website, okay? Email list being a really big winner especially when I do send out that email in the time of the month. Like right now I haven't sent out an email in about 3 weeks. So right now at the moment, obviously my email list is not making me money because I haven't sent out an email yet. I'm working on a summer email as we speak. The point is, when I do send out an email, it brings a substantial amount of income for me. So that is one of the ways. You build it, you set it up, you get people to join, and over time, as you have a bigger and bigger list, when you email them for several marketing reasons throughout the year, you will make money, okay? Now, of course, there's much more to it. There's much more to it, such as what do you email them? How often do you email them? What do your emails look like? How do you get them to click into your emails? How do you get them to click to your website? How do you get them to convert? You know, what, you know, offerings are better than others and all of that stuff, okay? Because really is an art form, this email marketing thing. And so, as usual, whatever I know to teach and whatever that has worked for me, I created a course for, okay? So the email marketing course is down below if you're interested in taking a look at it. You could actually see the curriculum, okay? I go from starting an email list, building one, marketing and all, like from A to Z, okay? I even include some really cool bonuses in there for people to really get them started, okay? Almost like done for you type of, you know, templates and things. But that will walk you through everything you need to know. Nonetheless, email marketing is one of the ways I market. I drive traffic to my website. I do have Etsy and Amazon, but I prefer to drive it to my .com because I own that, okay? Another way I drive traffic, and you could drive traffic to your website, is Pinterest. Again, it's not just, oh, let me pin a whole bunch of things and wait for like people to flow on in. There's definitely strategy behind it. At this current time, I do have a Pinterest webinar, and it was utilizing Board Booster, but at the time of this recording. Board Booster has just closed down its doors, shut its doors, or whatever you want to call it, because of it doesn't play nice with Pinterest and the API and all that stuff. Okay, nonetheless, it's gone. So I will be using Tailwind very soon. I'm currently working on my strategy to apply it using Tailwind, and I kind of figured it out. I just have to do it and let it, you know, kind of groove and do its thing, and then if it's working the way I want to, then I'll update the course in that piece. However, the course, at least the whole beginning part, there's plenty for you to do before you even get to that Board Booster part. So again, if you're interested in, you know, using Pinterest as a traffic strategy to your website, highly recommend it, especially if your target market is hanging out on Pinterest. Okay, moms, you know, soon to be moms, anything gift giving, if you are in the trendy type of market, wedding, baby, you know what I'm saying? There's probably a few more that I'm missing, but if you're in that market, I highly recommend getting on there. Okay, party planning market, any type of planning, home decor, you know what I'm saying? So I highly recommend getting into a Pinterest strategy. Again, I recommend my own because I know what I'm doing. I use it myself and I bring traffic via Pinterest with it. And again, if you get it anytime soon, you'll know that you have to know that at the time of recording, the Board Booster section is kind of like on a pause, but there's plenty for you to do and work on way before that, like plenty. Okay, so make sure you do that. Okay, anyway, that's another way to get traffic. Is another way you could get traffic, and it could be really great. And it's a snowballing strategy. Literally, when you first start, you might get a few hits, and then over time it starts to snowball, and that's what you're looking for. Because if something gets, you know, becomes viral and gets repinned and repinned and repinned, you're literally sitting there doing nothing, and people are viewing your content, which happens to be, in this case, a product. Okay, it's awesome stuff. All right, next is Instagram. I personally don't use Instagram as a strategy, but it is a strategy that people use and are successful with, especially with product. Okay, now here's a few tips, and I know how to use Pinterest. I just don't have the current time for it. Not Pinterest, sorry, Instagram. I just don't have the current time for it. But it is a strategy I highly recommend. But it's a very active strategy. There are pieces to it that you can make passive, but definitely a very active strategy. You know, when I think of email lists, building the email list is fairly passive for me. Emailing somebody's not so passive, but I set up an automated email campaign that gets people, emails sent to people when I'm not even doing anything. And I teach that in my email list webinar. But, Instagram is not so passive. And so that's why I'm hesitant to start it. I will be eventually, trust me. I work on multiple different things to bring traffic to my website. And that's really important for you to do as well. Don't just pick one idea from this video. Pick multiple, drive that traffic, okay? But eventually I will get into Instagram. The point is, you have to really target and find your target market on there. So understanding what hashtags that they use for themselves, following those hashtags, engaging in their content, setting up your profile correctly, your picture, your description, your link. So when they do eventually look at your profile to see who engaged with me, they are interested in following you if you're the right fit for them. You posting consistently, you're using hashtags that get you found. I mean, this is a really a shortened version of what Instagram's about, but nonetheless, it does take time to build. There is no real strategy that gets you from 10 followers to 3,000 in a week. It's not right. And if you did have a strategy like that, it's probably not going to get you, targeted followers. It's not about, having, 50 million followers. That would be very nice, yes. But it's about having targeted followers, people that if they, saw your post, can buy. So I'd rather have 2,000 highly engaged followers than 200,000 most people that don't give a shit when I post, right? But anyway, Instagram, when doing it properly and being consistent with it, can bring you a lot of traffic, okay? Another thing is, if you have money, you spend money on advertising. There's different ways you could advertise, such as Facebook ads, Google ads. You could advertise within certain platforms. I know this is a website type of video, but if you are on Etsy or Amazon, you could advertise within those platforms. But talking about websites, you could definitely advertise within Facebook or Google, okay? Depending on the type of product you have, one could be more effective than the other, but more importantly, both could be really effective for most people. It's just that people don't know how to do them properly. People don't know how to get people to want to click, for high click-through rates, or, designing a really attractive ad for your target market. That's the trick, spending money on an ad is not necessarily the biggest problem for people. I find that people will, not everybody, but some people will easily spend money on it, but then waste the money because they don't know what they're doing. So, but if you do know what what you're doing, that's a really great way to go. I personally don't teach advertising. I know a little bit about it, enough to maybe try it myself. I don't want to at the moment because I'm very busy, but not enough to teach a course on it, obviously. But, if you ever need any, advertising tips, comment down below or get into my, my Facebook group. It's for free. And, feel free to ask questions. I'll answer to the best of my knowledge, only the things that I know, but if you do have some money to spend, that could be a good way to go if you know what you're doing, okay? Just remember also other platforms such as Pinterest, Instagram, and other places. Also, you could use advertising on their platforms to bring traffic to your website as well, okay? Now, a few other things that people tend to forget about to bring traffic to your website. I'm gonna kind of explain to you how they're great or how they could be great. Blogging is one, and the reason why it's great is because I'm gonna kind of make it simple for you. The reason why blogging is great is because if you have a target market who is into reading content, moms, I think about that immediately because I'm a mom myself. Or I was looking at how to baby proof our home, or how to pack your diaper bag, blah blah, the most efficient way, or whatever what we're looking at, the best first birthday party ideas or whatever. We're looking for content to read to help enrich our lives better. If you have a target market that you feel that there's content out there for them, then you could create content for them, okay? Whether it's your own ideas or you hire somebody to blog for you. That's a thing, I know. But if you're really in tune with your target market, you could do it yourself. However, the key here is putting your blog within your website. So the main website would be your products, and there's a blog link. So when they get linked to your blog post, they could see that it's really a product website, okay? And then within that blog post, when appropriate, if appropriate, not every blog post has to have this, but when appropriate, you wanna mention your products, links to them, photos, okay? It's really important that these blog posts are give very, very high value and meet the needs of your customers. So doing some little research about what your target market is searching for is highly important. In fact, in my Google SEO webinar, there's a bonus section that teaches you how to how to do Google SEO for blogging. Within that, I show you how to figure out topics that your target market is searching for. It's perfect, okay? And doing so will help you get the most traffic to that blog post, hence your website. So also linking to those products when appropriate is really important. So picking blog topics that not only meet your target market's needs, but also where you could put your blog, sorry, my phone. making sales. Okay. So you could put in links to your product when appropriate. Now, not only is making a blog really important for Google SEO traffic, because Google will also like you if you have content on your website, not just products, but also if you use Pinterest along with that strategy, you could drive a lot of traffic to your blog post via Pinterest, okay? So not only could you use Pinterest for yourself, for your products, but you could also use it for your blog posts, in which will drive traffic to your website, in which has your products recommended within the blog post, okay? The key here is not being consistent in blogging. You don't have to do 10 blog posts every 2 weeks. Like it's not about that. It's about valuable content and marketing those blog posts. Besides Pinterest, there's much more ways you can market, but that's just a few different ways, okay? Last but not least is don't forget your repeat and referral traffic. So there's ways to obviously get repeat and referral traffic, having a consumable product that product gets used up and people need to get more of, but even referral traffic is really important. But in order to get those, you need to have your branding on point. People have to remember your name so they can search back for your brand name, and that they feel that they trust you, that they feel that you're a professional. There's obviously a million different ways I could even go into getting that referral and repeat business, such as answering your messages on time and shipping out on time and packaging correctly and taking care of the customer if something goes wrong. I mean, there's many different ways. Making a good impression on your website, but each of those ways will help get that. A huge part of my business as well, because again, this video is also showing you how I get traffic, is referral traffic and repeat business. I mean, my product happens to be consumable. Not every one of my product lines is, but you know, a huge portion of my revenue is a consumable product. And you know, if I wasn't impressing my customers, providing a quality product, you know, taking care of my customers when a problem arises, I mean, you name it, they wouldn't come back to me. You know, if I wasn't making my website user-friendly, etc. and so forth, I would not have that. So I have to just say that is one of the ways I do it, is branding, referral traffic, you know, repeat business is a one big thing that I do and I highly believe in, because you work so hard to work on getting traffic, but you're not working on the people that actually came to your website, like getting them to come back to you. Why would you keep working on getting new traffic? Hey, I want you to, absolutely, but let's make sure that we're taking care of the customers that we currently get. How do we wow them so they come back to us? They search for us, right? We're trying to get to the top of search, you know, Google SEO, wherever, we're trying to email them, whatever, but if we impress them that one time, they'll come back naturally on their own to search for your product, your website name, or type in your website name directly, and boom, there you are, okay? So that is the few different ways I get traffic. Through SEO, okay, Google SEO particularly for my website, and then marketing, okay, I mentioned different ways that I get traffic and many ways that I don't get traffic, but is a, you know, an idea for yourself. Again, email list, Pinterest for myself. I don't do Instagram, but you could. Blogging, I don't do, but you could. Referral, repeat business, I'm always working on those people to come back to me. That's what I do, okay? Did I miss anything? I don't currently do advertising, particularly where it's like Facebook ads or Google ads, but you could absolutely do that as well, okay? There has to be a plan behind it, okay? One different way, one bonus way I'm going to mention before I leave you guys, is not a new way. It's a way that most people don't think about, because it's kind of like the new age way to get traffic to your website, is working with influencers, okay? So here's the bonus tip. Working with influencers. If you feel like there's an influencer that matches your product type, that works with your product type, that has a target audience, right, with your product type, that works with your product type, then, you know, partnering with them would probably be very ideal. A lot of influencers that don't have a huge following don't require money, they just require a free product. You know, there's some that require a small fee, there's some that require only a discount code for their followers. I mean, there's many different ways. You could find influencers on YouTube here. You can also find them on Instagram. There's many different ways, okay? If you're interested in hearing ways you could partner with influencers, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to do another video on it, okay? And that's it. That was the bonus way. So there are many ways you could do it. And the moral of the story is, if you have your own website, you have to have not just one thing in place, especially at least SEO, okay? At least Google SEO. You have to have multiple ways, okay? To bring in, you know, revenue streams from everywhere, just in case one day Google wants to screw with you, or you have no money for advertising campaigns, or something kind of doesn't work. At least you're still having other revenue streams to your website. And that's how you build it. You know, this year, I'm sure that my website will beat my Etsy shop, which is fantastic. I want Etsy to succeed for my shop, obviously, and it's doing fine. But now the fact that my website's doing better, I mean, I know what I'm talking about, guys, okay? You have to put these in place. And so here's a reality. If you're saying, Daya, I get you, I believe you, I'm gonna put these in place, but I don't know how. Again, I teach Google SEO. I have the link down below for you, the course, okay? I teach Pinterest, link down below, okay? What else do I teach? And email marketing, I teach that. Everything else I don't particularly teach, but I give free advice on. So if you have questions, post in my Facebook group or down below, and I'll be happy to help you as much as I can. Sometimes I might even dedicate a video to it, okay? All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. YouTube will think I'm an awesome person if I keep getting, you know, the like button hit. So make sure you do so. And if you want to see more videos like these, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and a notifications bell so you don't miss the notification when I post a new video. Okay, guys? All right, see you later. Bye.